Welcome to the Super Expander podcast. My name is Corrine Phelps, your host. I'm a business and growth coach, money mindset expert, and a multi-passionate entrepreneur. My journey has taken me all over, from working in finance to owning a boutique fitness studio. I found myself burnt out, miserable, and questioning everything. Saying things to myself like, there's got to be more to life than this. Refusing to settle for a mediocre existence, I went all in, learning how to harness untapped potential and rewire the subconscious mind to create an extraordinary life. The last 10 years have been a crash course in self-love, building a business, creating community, building wealth, and doing what it takes to just freaking go for it. My mission is to help you align to your purpose, rewire your subconscious to support your big dreams and vision, and create a life that you're absolutely obsessed with. So sit back, tune in, and prepare to expand. Welcome back to the Super Expander podcast. How are you doing? How are you feeling today? I hope that you are listening to this podcast somewhere on a walk, maybe in your car, doing something that lights you up. I also kind of love to know what it is that you do enjoy doing while you are listening to the podcast. So what I'd actually, before I dive in, I would love for you to reach out to me and just tell me where it is that you like to listen to the Super Expander podcast. What's your favorite place? And you can do that on Instagram. You just slide right on into my DMs at Corrine.Phelps. That's my handle, CORENE.PHELPS. And just let me know where you like to listen to the podcast, because I'm curious. So today I thought, we've been on this topic of emotions, and I thought I'd just keep that train going and really explore and talk about the nuances of emotional pain. And I want to start by saying that I think it's a really powerful thing to reframe pain as not always being a problem, right? Pain signifies growth. So if you are experiencing discomfort or pain, it truly means that you are growing, that it doesn't necessarily need to be viewed as a problem. And when I started to look at discomfort, pain, especially as it pertains to emotional pain, and I started to look at it from that lens, it was a huge shift for me. The moment that we begin to view our pain and obstacles as things that are made for you to give you what you need, then life actually starts to get really, really fun. What if you reframed discomfort and pain that way? I mean, it really would start to enable you to start to surf right on top of your problems and discomfort rather than living underneath of them. So just kind of a question for you thinking about it. If you had to choose between physical pain or emotional pain, what would you choose? I would choose emotional pain, but only because I have an extraordinary tool to eradicate it or move through it. But I think before having access to this kind of work and these tools, I probably would have picked physical pain all day long. I personally have a very high tolerance for discomfort and pain. But let that kind of just marinate for a moment and kind of see how you feel about it. And then maybe on the other side of this conversation, check in and see if your answer is different. So let's kind of explore the nuances of physical pain. So I think that, or of both of them actually. So I think that physical pain, when I really think about it, physical pain echoes until you halt and listen, right? We tend to devote undivided attention to our physical pain and proactively find solutions. But in contrast, when we're experiencing emotional pain, it can be kind of silent but deadly, right? In so many different ways. It can ebb and flow with these constant reminders, memories, triggers, and we start to disassociate from them, starting to ignore them and start to, dull our emotions, experiences, our views of the world, and we start to become very unaware. We start to operate in a sense and a place of denial very often, and an inability to either identify or really be able to process the root cause. And that often leads to something bigger, something like depression or anxiety. We become desensitized to emotional pain because it's insidious and it lends itself to like a myriad of other kind of problems. And in a lot of cases, it causes this massive chaos in our life. Emotional pain tends to bear a lot of times no glaring results to the outside world. So if people knew, you might be extended some sort of empathy or some sort of, I don't know, way to find solace from this internal struggle. But a lot of times people have no idea what someone is going through on emotional basis versus physical pain. Oftentimes, you can really see it and people can extend help or empathy or, help you find a solution. And why I think it's really so important that we're having this conversation or we're talking about this is because all of this really is the sort of thing that holds us back from reaching our truest, fullest potential, to scaling the business, to making the impact and living a life that is just filled with purpose, passion, and happiness and unbridled wealth. I have a question for you. Have you joined the Super Expander free mentorship community? If not, what are you waiting for? Stop what you're doing right now and text the word mentor to 202-918-3235. Text the word mentor to 202-918-3235. I send out weekly tips and inspiration to help you grow your business, to step into your wealthiest, most highest self, to harness your full potential and live an exceptional and extraordinary life. And the best part is, it's really me sending those messages. So text me, say hello, and send me your questions. So to get a little bit sciencey on you here, the brain doesn't process emotional pain and physical pain in the same way. But there are research studies that show that there's an overlap in the neural pathways and the regions in the brain that this all happens. So this is why a broken heart will literally cause physical discomfort in a body. And this helps to draw, like a solid conclusion that long-term emotional pain causes disease in the body if it goes untreated. So emotional pain will ultimately cause physical pain. I think back to, especially I feel like you feel it much more intensely when you're younger, like your first love, and when it fizzled out and didn't work, it like made you sick to your stomach and you literally just felt like you were going to die. So inside of these studies, they started to notice that emotional and physical pain are linked to changes inside of your prefrontal cortex. And you hear me talking about the prefrontal cortex and the subconscious mind all the time. The prefrontal cortex is the seat of your logical mind. It's where our like analytical thinking brain work takes place. So there are changes in the prefrontal cortex. It started opening up that pain, both emotional and physical, can be tracked on essentially a continuum or a spectrum. So emotional pain can start to show up in a bunch of different ways as like habitual thought loops, low self-esteem, imposter syndrome, anxiety, people-pleasing, perfectionism, what else? Depression, all of it. Any of this like resonating with you, these experiences of emotional pain? So evidence shows that there are some clear correlations between well-being and emotional health, right? I think this is something that we all can agree upon. And these things all impact our happiness and our long-term success if not addressed. So why we're talking about this is because on this journey of entrepreneurship and really understanding the subconscious mind and moving people towards optimizing their performance, creating more wealth inside of their life, and really just showing up and creating the impact and living their purpose, I have found that hypno-breathwork really is the most efficient and effective tool for moving through this. It's so effective for so many other things, but it really has enabled the work that I do with my clients and both myself to be able to connect to the emotions, the root cause of it, learn to process them, to start to move out of a place of feeling stuck in this emotional, I don't know, the pain, the emotional stuckness, all of it, these places where we sit there and question our worth and our ability to do the things that we want to do in life. And let me just tell you that every single human being experiences these things. And the only difference between the people who are out there doing what appears to be like massively big things and consistently successful is that they've learned how to move through these things quicker. They've learned how to fail faster. They've learned how to take these emotions and truly make them their advantage, their edge, to stretch them, to grow them. And I feel like hypno-breathwork has been such a game changer in every person's life that has experienced it. So I want to kind of connect the dots. I mean, I talk about hypno-breathwork here a lot because it is a cornerstone of one of the pieces I use inside of my coaching business to coach my clients to get them big results. So hypno-breathwork takes the power of 3 separate tools and turns it into one innovative, cutting-edge experience. It takes visioning, it takes hypnosis and breathwork all together. So the breathwork piece helps to clear suppressed emotions and move energetic patterns, merging hypnosis and visualization for subconscious reprogramming. So this takes this optimized healing process for unprocessed emotions while rewiring limiting beliefs and automating habits to create sustainable behavior change. Literally automating these things that becomes kind of part of of just like who you are and how you do things. So when I say automated, it definitely doesn't mean like automated, like autopilot. It just creates this loop of, something comes in, you connect to it, you find the root cause, you clean it up, you rewire it, and then move into the vision you want to create. And you learn how to do this so much more effectively and efficiently. And I feel like move through the things that could have taken you a long time to move through, staying stuck, and you get to move through it so much more quickly. And I think the most incredible thing about the whole entire experience is that you literally can start to feel it working in a matter of minutes. So once again, I hope that you found today's conversation inspiring, insightful. And if you heard me talking about hypno-breathwork here and you're like, I really want to know more about this, I'd love for you to just hop on a quick call and we can have a conversation. You can ask me any questions that you want. I will drop the link in the show notes here for you to reach out and connect with me on just a short 20-minute connection call. And you can ask me any questions you have about the work and see if it's the right fit for you. If you like what you heard, stop, drop, and leave a 5-star review and hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And as always, sharing is caring, so snap a pic and share this episode with another super expander.